And don't be afraid to like get one of your drinks or whatever.
And with that, we are live.
Yeah.
Right when I pressed it.
Wow, we're live, and
I'm your co-host, Marky Mark. We are the Divided People, and
I'm Lance, your co-host.
a shitty human being.
Thank you.
And to our left, we have our guest today.
Josh Hoover. Thank you guys for having me on.
No problem. Lance, you usually start with the intro. Which...
I was just telling him he could drink if he wants.
I'm about
we
to
get
drink
fucked
this-
up on this show. We've
this
done it
tropical
before.
punch Kool-Aid
I'm
jammer.
just saying, people like to drink around here.
Y'all
We get
got
people that get fucked up here.
y'all got more of
John
these.
was pretty fucked up here, right, John? But John gets fucked up regularly, right? Anyway, so we're talking about relationships today. So, Mark.
Yeah, I will say, as far as beer goes, I have a couple different kinds. I don't know.
IPAs?
I have 2 IPAs. I think I have 2 just ales and then 2 stouts.
You went to the mix thing at Houses, didn't you?
No, it's all from Red, White, and Brew in Hammond.
I didn't know y'all had that here.
Oh
This
yeah.
is like
He's from
I'm from Civilization.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
I'm from.
Fuck you. You trying to move out?
You're from scary civilization. We're
Hey,
just
I'm not from New Orleans.
We're from slow
I'm
civilization.
not from New Orleans. Okay, pull it back. We're in Jefferson Parish.
You're from. We gotta get out of here, or else we're gonna drown every year.
So, Josh, you said earlier that you've been thinking about relationships all day.
Not necessarily all day.
All day, but
lately.
All day. All day long.
All day.
So that's the I used to think about relationships all day. But recently I've been getting like a little bit more lax on that, cause like I want a relationship. Like we all want, good relationships. But I'm having like less of a like full focus on it, cause that has like gotten me in trouble in the past.
How long has it been since your last relationship?
Define relationship.
You define
Yeah,
relationships.
like I said,
Well, that's the thing.
That's
Like
a
there's
question
so
for
many.
you.
There's so many different ways that you could say it. I mean, there's like a committed relationship where you and this other person, like, you have an agreement, and you're, whether it be unspoken or spoken or whatever, but it's like, hey, I like you. I want to build something with you.
So, a boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah, I like that. But then you also have like other relationships that are just like,
Casual?
Intimate?
Yeah.
Casual?
Or yeah, like either like intimate, like, but in different ways. Like it could be like physically intimate or just emotionally intimate, or whatever. Like the word relationship is so many
Well, yeah,
different
friends
things.
are technically relationships.
Yeah.
So, well, let's narrow it down then. Potential partner relationships.
With that, like someone that I seriously considered, would be like somebody that I could, build something with and all that.
Well, that's potential marriage partner. But
Well, see that's
I'm
the
saying
thing. Where's
potential
the-
partner could be sexual, could be or dating or marriage. It could be any of those, but something you want to be more than just friends with.
Well, I mean, that one of those just recently ended, where it was like a physical thing, and like this person was great, but there were just other things that weren't. Like we just didn't click on some things. So that was like this week, like But as far as like somebody that I like, really considered like actually growing old with, and like that kind of stuff, like the whole life thing, that's probably been about a year. And both of those relationships on my end were displayed very, very, very differently. Because with the person that, a year ago, the person that I like really was considering like being with and all that, like you invest a lot more into it. And then this one, it's just like, I don't want to invest in all this because I'm not sure of things, and
So what do you do when you get to that point? Like, say you're going through the relationship, everything's going kind of okay, but not perfectly great, and you get to that point where you're like, I just don't see this going toward marriage. Do you bail, or do you stick around?
Well,
see if you can work it out?
it's not that I necessarily bail, but like I'm the kind of person that I definitely want to have a conversation about that. Like maybe not. I'm not gonna like force a conversation, but like if it comes up, like I want to be able to like be honest about things, and I want to be able to not get crucified just for the way that
okay,
I do or do not feel. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna happen regardless.
It seems to be.
Well, that's why you don't say your political beliefs just yet.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a guy rule about that, and you start with the basics, and then don't open up your full world until a few months into it. Got to get time to let them acclimate.
What kind of cheese do you like? I like cheddar. That's about as far as I want to go into it.
What do you order at Taco Bell?
First
What
little
do
bit.
you order at Taco Bell?
Yeah, right.
Garbage. All garbage questions. My question.
Just get real judgy
nothing
over
committal.
your fast food choices.
No. Number one question is, what started Pokemon?
What?
That's the number one
That's
question.
the number
generation?
one question in America right now.
What
For a
generation?
relationship, yeah. Oh, what started Pokemon do you start with?
Oh, yeah.
And,
That could work.
What if they tell you what's a Pokemon?
oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know who you are anymore.
Ooh.
What would your wife answer?
Charmander. Try again. What would your wife answer?
She looked
Kay?
up. She looked over at Zane and was like, "Which one?" He's
He
like,
couldn't
he's
barely
like,
speak at the time.
Gosh.
I don't know what she would pick. She'd probably pick Charmander. Yeah, ¿qué pasó? How do you say Charmander in Spanish?
Charmanzio.
Some Spanish person pissed at us right now. No, you stupid fucking gringos.
Jesus.
This is not the way you say it.
That's not being edited out.
Nope. I married her. It's okay. Anyway, move on.
His wife is Latino from
my wife
Honduras.
does not listen to this. I can say this stuff.
Nice. Yeah. So you're not going to get in trouble for anything.
Oh no, he will. He's getting in trouble for something all the time.
Shut up! Don't tell her.
Well, okay.
I'll
You're
get in
just
trouble.
not
Quote me
safe.
for that.
You have a dangerous life.
So
Latinos.
that's a whole different type of relationship.
Moving on. So you dodged the topic with finesse, but most recent relationship.
It's not okay. As far as dodging topics, it's not that I try to dodge topics. It's just that I go on ridiculous tangents.
Tangents
and
are
I
fine. We're fine with that,
apologize.
but we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah, definitely.
So, most recent relationship.
Yeah, so most recent relationship. It was one of those situations where, at the time, even now, I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship because I feel like that's where I've been messing up, for a really long time.
That's what he hates you.
Yeah, most of the time, like in high school, most of my high school time was, me trying to find someone and like all of that.
You're 24, you said, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
23.
Okay. So this is something. I'm 34. So this is something.
37, but who's counting?
I feel like it. But anyway, this is something I just picked up over time was that I didn't realize that was going on. But like when you're in school and stuff, you all have something in common. You're all like going to school. You're all in school together. Then you get out of school, and then it's like, okay, now what do we have in common?
Yeah,
It's like, and then you start working, and then your hobbies start differentiating. You start hanging out with different groups of people, and then everything fucking changes.
Yeah.
So then you're like, now I gotta find new things in common with these people.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get now. It's like they segregate themselves into groups. You got politics, religion, the big major things. Everybody separates themselves. Then you get hobbies and stuff, which is what I used to tell my brother. My brother used to complain all the time about the women. I'm like, it's because you only meet chicks in bars.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think you're going to get in a bar? And I'm like,
Hey,
people like you. I'm like, that's the problem.
Alexandria is a nice woman.
Don't do it. She's Latina too.
That's something that my aunt and uncle, like they would say that like about my dad because he would go out to bars so like growing up, like my mom and dad were married, and then around 4 years old they split up. Like mom left, and then I went and lived with my dad. And which is weird because I feel like that's like your first, idea of a relationship. Yeah.
I had a nephew. He was so confused about like with me and my wife were married. We had a kid while we were married, and then he was looking at us like, "But why are they always together?"
Right.
My mom was like explaining to him because they're married. He's like, what about my mom and dad?
Right,
We were like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all take that
You're
one.
gonna
I'm not getting
learn.
that
Oh no, it was a different approach for me. Is when like my mom and dad was like, "Yeah, we're gonna try to work it out." I'm like, "God, no,
no.
please stop.
That's
You're all
a bad
horrible
idea.
together. Like this is the worst idea that has came.
You go to your room. You go to your room.
Like it's so bad. Like you guys at one point we were like, just stop. We don't care. We'll pick side. We don't care. Like stop.
Right. I'm 4 years old, and this is a bad idea.
Like y'all don't love each other. We
I'm
know.
4 and it's this obvious to me.
But I mean, whenever I was a kid, I didn't notice it all that much at the time because like whenever you're that small, you don't think about it. Like you don't think of like
It's not that serious.
relationships and because you have so many other things going on.
Yeah, you're like, girl's icky.
Like and like finding cool sticks in the backyard to shoot at invisible things with.
Throwing rocks at cars,
I didn't.
The hell kind of
I
childhood
didn't
did
do
you
that.
have?
I lived on the West Bank, okay? We did what we
What did you
did.
do for fun? Malicious anarchy?
Yeah, right.
We did what we could.
So that was your first inquiry. Yeah, we get like this. So that was your first idea of relationships, and then you said this situation happened recently. How did it relate to that?
How did it relate to that?
Because you went that way. I want to see how that tangent went that direction.
Well, it's not that everything ties in. It's just
It does
everything's
somehow.
everywhere. Basically, with this relationship, I'll make sure and circle back straight to this particular question. With this one, I wasn't looking for a relationship. Then it got to the point, where her and I started talking. Like we met, and we had known each other for a while, but like we had never like really talked or anything like that. We had met one night, and we started talking from there, and like we kind of quickly got intimate, and then it turned into, she like has feelings for me, and she wants, she's starting to expect things, and she wants commitment and all this stuff, and she's like, I like you, and I'm like, that's totally fine, but I'm not really looking for a relationship. Yeah, cool. Like I'm not looking for that right now, and like, I would really like to, take things a little bit slower, because my last big relationship, I jumped into it like that, I jumped in, I'm like, I started like following what the idea of the perfect relationship in my head, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this could be so great, and chasing that, and then it just kind of blew up in my face, because it's too much for people. Like it puts a lot of weird pressure on people, like especially someone who knows that they're not, in that vein, that they don't really want a relationship at the moment. They just want to kind of have some balance to their life.
Well, I find the best thing for like people in relationships is to accept and acknowledge where it's going as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you realize that if you don't think it's going to progress, the best thing to do is just tell them right away. Like,
and
nothing against you. I remember this one girl I dated. We pretty much had that conversation. Mm-hmm. No fight at the end. Just like, there's just certain things we just don't align with, and I could see if we progressed along these lines, eventually it would turn into fighting, and I think it's best we just stop now.
Yeah.
And she would come back every now and then and be like, well, I think we try. I'm like, no, I really don't think so. I mean, like, we differ on so many topics that are going to be major in the future. I'm like, politically we differ. Mm-hmm. Like, even where we want to live. You want to live in a city. I don't want to live in a city.
Yeah.
Like, you want to decorate. If you decorated a house, you would decorate it really high modern, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'm like, so all of these things would turn into bad relationship stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, but I don't hate you. I'm just like,
Yeah. It's not a totally compatible thing.
We're not a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really big on that. I'm really big on like accepting people for who and what they are, and for where they are. Because I feel like there's a lot of, oh, well, this person's so great, but they do this. I wish that they would change this, and then they bring that up, and then it starts all these problems. And that's actually something that happened this last time. Yeah.
You don't want to break the glass.
Yeah, I know it sounds cynical. I used to tell people this, that like younger people, I used to tell them, like, just find somebody you can tolerate enough.
Yeah.
And then marry them. I'm like, because if you keep looking for this imaginary perfect person, they don't exist. You're not going to find them.
Yeah, well,
you're going to compromise somewhere, and they are too.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's actually a main thing that, like, I was kind of thinking about today, is that, like, so often there's like, because we watch movies and we watch people on the outside who seem like they have like wonderful, great relationships, and
Facebook memeing about
don't
ever compromise who you are.
God, all of that.
That's one thing I do find kind of funny. Like people when I see a lot of people post nothing but like statuses and like tagging their girlfriend with it, I'm just like, okay, something's going on here.
Right.
Not like
you're doing too much.
Oh, the under the table jab with the meme on Facebook.
No, more like oh, I love this girl so much, and it's like every day like they're saying I love you to her on Facebook, or it's like tagging them in constant things that are like lovey-dovey, and I'm like, okay, so something's going on there because you're trying to make it seem that way. It's kind of like when you tell yourself, oh, everything's fine,
right?
Everything's fine. The house is on fire, but we're fine. Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
that's when that's a red flag.
Well,
for
that's
me.
actually I'm glad you came around to that because that was gonna be the other thing I say. Best advice I can give somebody about a new relationship: keep it off Facebook.
Yeah,
Should
exactly
be on
that.
until y'all are picking out like wedding plans. I wouldn't even put that on Facebook. You just keep that to yourself.
Well, that depends.
Don't get other people involved in it.
But again, Facebook is something else than what it used to be.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. That's what I
well,
mean.
no, because like
It's just
I get what you're
changed.
saying, but at the same time, it's so hard to keep it off of Facebook.
No, I'm saying like just between you and them, keep it off. Other people want to say stuff about it, whatever.
No, like so.
But just
What I'm saying is,
I
like,
don't like to put it out there.
like if we go to like you go to an event, pictures are going to be taken. Like it's just kind of
Yeah, that's the
and so,
thing.
and I think me and you kind of have the same point. My whole point is 'cause, like I'll make a post about my wife every now and then, and that's just
I'm married. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
That's fine.
but
I'm
that,
married.
and that's just because I just want her to see that she's appreciated outside. Because I tell her I don't like doing it, and she knows I don't. I don't like showing feelings on Facebook because I'm like you're right here.
Right.
I'd rather
yeah.
do it to you. In
Well, we're
person.
guys.
You
we're
are the
guys.
person
I
that-
want to show my feeling to you. The only person I care
No,
about.
a lot of guys show it on Facebook.
Yeah, very feminine.
But
guys.
no, not just feminists.
No, I said very feminine guys.
not just feminine guys though.
They may not realize that.
But I've seen guys who do it, and when they do it, I'm like, okay, but you're like, when's the last time you hung out with your wife? Well, we hung out last night. I'm like, no, y'all live together. When's the last time like guys hung out?
Like actually did
Yeah,
something
yeah.
together.
We're on a
like,
date.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
Just
And it's
because you're
like,
married
oh.
don't mean you don't date.
It's like, oh well, we can't because I'm like no, like again, something's wrong there. You're trying to make it look like it's perfect. That's nothing to aggravate. Don't make it look like you're perfect. No relationship's perfect.
Right,
And that's
yeah,
what
it's
makes.
not gonna
I
work.
feel like no relationship is perfect, and that's what makes it perfect in its own little way.
Mhm.
But people don't want to see it that way.
Perfection through flaws.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of power in like actually being like I really like the idea of like being close to somebody and like just going in as friends and then like going from there, like because
So you like fight through the friend zone.
Sure. But like the thing is like you can
I don't believe in the friend zone. I think it's BS. I think that's all that is a misperception by one or the other person. That's all it is. Now if you're all compatible, like you're both feeling it somehow. It's there somehow.
Yes, but you do have people that always have that one person on the hook.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right,
Though. That's where
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
That's where the friend zone
But
comes
that's
into
where
play,
I'm
I
talking
mean.
about the misperception.
Like,
you're
oh,
just
give me
you're
attention
misperceiving
and, like-
how this person really feels about you.
right.
Like if she really cares about you, you're gonna know.
Yeah, but okay. True.
And if you're the one that really cares about her and she really don't care about you that much, you're just missing that.
A lot of
It's
relationships
there.
are different in that type of way
There's a lot of animosity.
because when you just meet somebody, you can't tell that they really care for you.
Yeah.
And then
No,
a
I'm
lot
not
of
saying, but
well,
you
no,
can
hold
tell
on,
their
let me-
interest.
True, but there's a lot of girls and guys who are very deceiving with this, and they'll show interest, but they always go, "Oh, look, me and him just we're so complicated. I really like you, so pretty." Maybe
Exactly. Once again,
and then
a misperception.
Right.
yeah, exactly. But it's very on the hook,
Yeah,
and that's
if
where
you,
the friend
that's
zone
somebody
comes in.
when you get to the point of maturity where you can realize that someone's playing with you and not serious about you.
That never happens.
Yeah, sure it does.
Oh yeah.
No,
There
the
is
point
a
of
point
maturity.
when you get to the point where you're like, "Oh,
I don't know
and
if
you
it.
don't care."
I don't know if it comes to that point or it comes to a point when they finally just like cut the hook and it's like, yeah, no, like at the end, that happens a lot. I've seen.
See that's what I was talking about. Like right there is that like you can understand that like okay maybe this person isn't that interested in me even if I'm super interested in them. That's okay.
Yeah,
And I used to not be able to handle that.
Yeah, if they're not matching your level of interest, at least matching it, then you should bail on it anyway.
Right.
Now, they may come back for you, but just pay attention because, like you said, they could just be trying to put you back on the hook.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could show an interest. Okay, that's cool. Why don't we go out this weekend? Oh, I'm really busy this weekend. All right, never mind.
Yeah,
See you later.
that's totally fine. That's totally
another
fine.
thing. I don't like really going out like that. I like going out like bars and stuff
I was
like
just
that.
using that example.
No, I know,
I've never.
But
gone
like
out
for me,
that.
it's funny because it's like a lot of my friends did, and I tried it, and I'm like, God, like this is weird. Like,
See, that's how I feel about clubs.
well, that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't like
I'm like,
clubs.
I don't like going to.
Club is the worst way in the world to get to know someone.
The only reason I like going to
Like,
bars
Everyone is
I'm not gonna
there
get
so
no-
they
I'm not
can
gonna
rub
get
up
to
on each other.
and
That's
sweat.
literally
and
it.
Sweat.
Not that, but like everyone, like the girls go. The thing is, guys go to the club because they want to look at chicks and they want to pick up a girl. There's no other reason for a guy to go to a club.
That's what I told I had explained to my wife because she's like, "Why don't we go out? I hear there's a lot of really nice clubs in New Orleans." And I'm like, "No," I'm like,
Yeah.
because we're married.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the only reason for a guy to go to a club is to be single and look at chicks.
Right, yeah.
Girls like to go to clubs because to get attention.
Well,
they want to see how many guys give them attention.
There is that. I definitely agree that there is that side to it. But I know for a fact that there are, groups of girls that literally just go so that they can dance with their girlfriends.
Yeah.
And that's totally awesome.
I just like the clubs around here. I just hate going to them because you're gonna sweat, and I'm like, why am I in this sweaty club with all these other sweaty people who are busting these moves? Sweat is getting on my face. It's not my sweat on my face. It's not my sweat on my face.
I stopped wanting to go to them like with a girl that I was with because every time I did, it was pretty much almost guaranteed I was going to have to get into a fight. Because every time I did, some guy's going to try to flirt with, some guy's going to try to rub up against her, some douche is going to spill his drink on me or something like that, and I'm going to get put into a situation where I have to act. And I hate that. I'm like, like I don't want to do that. There's no joy in me for going.
And then, like, even if
that.
you're not the one fighting, there's always a fight, and you're just like,
right, yeah.
I still gotta get her out of there, defend her, and then that awkward situation where she starts fighting with a chick.
And you're just like, I want to let you do your thing, but also we need to go home. This is dumb.
That kind of happened with me and my buddy. We took our girls out, and she wasn't my really girl. We were just kind of talking at the time, and I haven't talked to her since because club, loud music, and then I see her like arguing with this one chick, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then like they get in each other's face, and I'm like, I looked at my buddy, and he's like, and I'm like,
no.
Like, he's like, oh, a cat fight. I'm like, no, that's like bad. So
I want this night to end well for me.
For
me.
The two girls go at it, they get kicked out. And she's like, no, I was with him. I'm like, I've never seen her in my life. I paid $12 to get in this place. I'm not leaving within an hour.
That's another thing, too. Cover charges.
Yeah.
I hate cover fees. Like, even if it's, like, a cool bar and, like, if they're... The thing is, I can understand it if they're having, like, live music. And like, the cover fee is, like, to go towards, paying the musicians. Like, that's cool. Or, like, an event. But just to go in and drink somewhere, I'm not paying $5. Yeah. I will go literally anywhere else. I will go to the store and go home.
And the only reason why I like going to bars because I don't like beer like that. I like liquor.
Yeah.
And I don't drink that often. I like to go to bars to play pool though. That's what I like to do. I like to go play pool.
Oh god, the last time I did that, it was horrible.
And that's the thing. The last time I did that, actually,
drunk chick spilled a beer on me.
Yeah.
Last time I did, my pool stick was broken in front of me, and it was like. Yeah.
Some guy? Like some dude like snapped your...
No.
A girl just snapped your pool stick?
She hit it upside somebody.
And then what do you do about that? It's like...
What kind of Wild West land do you live in? What? Where women are just breaking pool cues over people's heads.
It was right there at the... What's it called?
Stray Cats? Oh, God.
She,
I have never gone to Stray Cats.
Never seen her, the girl, before in my life. Wasn't someone I was even hanging out with. I literally set my pool stick down for a second to grab chalk.
Yeah.
And I guess I should have kept it in my hand. Forgive me. And I guess he got caught cheating, and she grabbed the closest thing. And I found out
and depending on what end you hit them with, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was snapped. And, like, your tears don't fall, bullshit, my tears fell.
And now your personal pool stick has now become a murder weapon. Now you have to explain that.
I didn't stick around after. I just left.
The last time I went...
bye, everyone.
Last time we went... I went somewhere to a bar with somebody. We got harassed by a bartender. Like really, like harassed us. Like came outside screaming at us.
Ooh.
And the point of all this is to say
that
relationships should be formed.
That wasn't a relationship. That was literally.
No, I'm saying, but all this stuff is happening. Like relationships should be formed in these areas.
No, well, that's why I said bars is not where you go to meet women. That is, I've always been told, and it's seemed to have always worked for well. Meet girls based on your hobbies, like doing something you love. If you have a hobby, do it.
I'm gonna end up meeting some real butch women if I try to do that.
What's your hobby?
Because I just go and shoot and like.
Actually, I've met some great women at shooting ranges.
Really?
Again, though, he's in the Metairie.
I was a police officer for 10 years.
Wow, really? No kidding.
Yeah, so I mean, I've met some pretty cool chicks being.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That shot. So I'm not gonna say they're not out there. You can meet women like that.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty. I mean, you got chicks online and stuff that post pictures like that all the time.
Yeah.
They're probably pretty in demand, though, I would imagine. That's probably pretty hard to get with them. Like your barrel. Got a smooth cocking action.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Pickup lines.
I'm getting a beer.
I lost my train of thought. I had something I wanted to say, and it was gone. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. All right.
So let me see. We've got Imperial IPA.
Just hit me with a random one.
An IPA and a stout.
I'm good.
Just hit me with a random one.
I'm gonna give you the Imperial IPA.
I'm gonna drink that Sprite Mini right there. Is what I'm gonna drink.
Ooh, it's extra mini.
I have extra mini now.
You have a bottle opener?
What to say?
I think I do have a bottle opener. Man, sing and dance for the audience.
You could have just paused it. I was gonna say for the next part, I was gonna ask pickup lines. Do you have a favorite pickup line? Why don't you just do it inside the counter? You don't know that trick?
I don't,
Last time I did that, I broke the bottle.
I don't do pickup lines.
I have one here.
You do and you don't, because there's something that's a pickup line. Whether or not it's just a hello, that's still a pickup line.
I have normal, relevant conversation. That's literally my thing. And I find that girls, for the most part, really appreciate it. Except for the girls that I'm not into. Because the girls that I'm not into, they want pickup lines.
So you have a type?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely have a type.
You have
Josh
you have
Hoover,
no.
what is your type? Is that correct or is that yours?
You have no
This
bottle.
is yours. Yeah, no.
Hold on.
I had one.
This is going to turn into like a 10-minute ordeal where we're trying to open a bottle.
No, I should try to 10-minute ordeal. I know I have one.
This
This
used to
This is a bottle.
hasn't been a long time.
That one's a bottle opener. I was about to say, you might have one and don't realize that that's what it is.
Ah!
He was dead set on doing it with that.
I don't know which one's yours.
That's you.
We open each other.
That'll be a little bit lighter, a bit more hoppier. Actually,
Hoppy.
yeah. As far as beer goes, I have technically only really been drinking and enjoying beer for about 2 years.
I've never enjoyed beer, but then again, it was. I
I
grew up.
enjoy beer.
So let me put it this way: I grew up where my dad didn't care if I drank. He said, "You can drink all you want in the house as long as you're here. Drink whatever the hell you want in the house." So it just wasn't cool to me. Like everybody was like, "Oh man, we're gonna go get alcohol." I'm like, "I drink whatever I want."
I have that at the house.
Yeah, I'm like, it just tastes like shit. It tastes like piss. So I don't want it. So I didn't care.
Where you going?
Yeah, drink.
Oh,
Not that kind of drink.
fair enough.
Now, derailing a little bit, I guess, from relationships.
No, that's all
Beer.
about relationships.
Okay,
Beer is about relationships.
Beer is
Hey, beer saved the world.
There you go.
bikes, beer,
Wait,
booty. That's it.
is that your type of
The
girl?
3 B's.
And boobs.
Bikes, beer,
Boobs and booty.
Booty.
The 4 B's.
I'm
It's more
still
important,
more
boobs and
of a booty guy. I'm a butt
Hey,
guy.
without boobs, you would not be here.
So you'll take an A. So wait, you'll take an A cup girl if she's got a nice butt.
Dude, I love small boobs. There is no extent of smallness that is too small for me.
Mosquito bites?
I love
like
small
flat chest
boobs.
mosquito bites. You like Asian women, don't you?
No, it's not.
What the hell?
See, I feel like that's kind of
Did
weird.
we
I don't
switch?
really have like
Just-
a thing. Like I'm not like, ooh, I like white chicks or ooh, I like Asian
Okay,
chicks.
but
It's just like
what exactly is Josh's type, though? Because
you
We
know.
just turned into a dating podcast.
Yeah. I'll
you're
tell you
attractive
guys.
guy, you know.
I'll
put
tell
this on
you
his
guys.
Tinder.
You know what
I
I
know
like,
a lot of Honduran women
and y'all
that want to come
just
to America.
pick somebody for me.
I know a lot of Honduran women that want to come to America.
Actually, there was a Honduran woman that I worked with whenever I worked at Salad Station. This was my first job in college, and her name was Cynthia technically, but she pronounced it Cynthia, like Cynthia. I don't know, but I loved her. I loved her so much.
that got
She was
away?
wonderful. No, I think I'm pretty sure she was in a relationship. But man, like she was one of my best friends there. Like her and I both worked in the back. Like I cooked and she did prep, and like she spoke English well, but like it was limited. Like the vocabulary was limited. And whenever she said the word onions, she said onion, and it was
You
amazing.
melted?
I loved it. But I love her so much. I don't know where she is anymore, but she's great.
No, seriously, no, a lot of.
Are you looking it up?
I am.
Okay, back to reality, Lance.
Hey, for me, I mean.
But yeah, as far as beer goes, I had to get into like, I had to ease myself into it because all in high school, like I hated beer. I hated it because all I ever had was like, Budweiser and Coors Light and Michelob and like all the commercial
See,
beer.
I'm still not a fan of beer. I like trying different ones just to see, but like so far I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not working for me.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I used to have to, like, struggle through a beer. But now it's at the point where, like, I really enjoy beer. Like, it started out, for me, as someone who hated beer, I had to start out with, like, ciders, because those ciders really fruity and really sweet.
Like the apple cider?
Yeah. Stella Artois.
I actually do, like, the, like, Angry Orchard and,
see, that's the thing. I wasn't into Angry Orchard, but Stella Artois makes a really great cider. Goodness. How? Why is she not here?
So, I guess
she's a model in hundreds.
She's a model. Well,
that's my wife's cousin, by the way.
Oh man, you and me are gonna hang out a lot more. I've got to.
He's not that fun.
I've got to.
I hang out with him all the time at work. But he does do a lot of work though. I gotta give it to him.
Yeah. But now, as far as beers go, it was ciders, and then I moved into sours, and then IPAs. And then from there, I was able to get into like wheat ales and summer ales, and then porters and stouts. That's my entire timeline. And now I'm at the point where like I really feel like I can just drink anything, as long as it doesn't taste like shit. There's a really terrible beer that I tried one time.
No piss water for me.
Yeah, there's a beer that I tried out of England. It's called London Pride, I think, and it is awful.
Bad.
It tastes like teriyaki sauce.
Sounds like my teeth.
Yeah.
What?
Because my teeth have a gap. The London look.
The London. Oh my god. Maybe it's Marky Mark.
Well, I'll be the perfect. What's it called?
Lingerie model?
Yeah, that'll work too.
There it is.
Before and after.
I'm definitely an after photo, bitch. Don't get it confused.
Of what? A beating? I'm just kidding with you.
Of the beard.
A beard? It's a before and after a beard. You're gonna do the
Before
beard.
beard.
You're gonna do the beard oil commercials. Be a man, grow a beard.
Yeah. I've tried growing a beard, and whenever my beard grows out, it like just
That's
goes
technically
this
a
way.
beard.
No. I've tried like growing it out.
That's my brother's does.
It like fluffs up,
Yeah,
and it
brother.
goes that way, and it just makes my face look huge. And it doesn't fit me.
A lot of people don't realize you have to get a haircut for your beard. Just
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
haircut for your hair.
Have like a little trim.
Yeah, you're supposed to actually like get that done.
Yeah. No, I've tried like actually like trying to detail a little bit and make it nice, and then I've also just let it frickin' go where I just didn't shave my face for a very long time.
All right, that's enough. Lance.
You have got to stop showing me pictures of beautiful Honduran women.
Lance, put it away.
No, it's fun.
Yes.
I'm married now, so I don't
He's
get
like,
that.
here, let me get your hopes up this high, and then
No.
you'll go home later and realize it'll never happen.
No, not even that. It's like, here, look at what I can't do, but you might have the opportunity to because it's my wife's cousin.
Well, I'm not gonna say all that, but I mean, they
I feel like that'd be kind of creepy.
there's a lot of times that they are trying to meet
There
guys
are a
over
lot
here.
of guys like that. I pride myself on not being one of those.
I've had several of her cousins
Hey,
ask to.
that.
I've had a lot of her cousins ask me to introduce them to people over here. A lot of them just aren't into the guys over there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they treat the girls over there a lot.
Do you want to try this?
Sure, I got nothing to lose.
Very, very heavy, very stouty. Almost like a coffee stout.
Coffee stout?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
That actually tastes a little better than this one.
Really? You can have the rest of this if you want, and I'll take that guy.
Yeah, I might be able to.
Let's do it.
Don't you have more?
Oh yeah.
What's it called? Dragon's milk? I like the name already.
Dragons.
See, look, like a month ago,
Giant's milk.
maybe it was 2 months ago. I think I had that for the first time, maybe 3 months ago at the most.
You gotta drink out of a horn.
Dude, I couldn't do it. I could not. I took like 2 sips, and I felt sick, and I couldn't do it. And now I can have a couple of them, and
It has that little. It has a
nice.
little bit of that coffee taste.
yeah,
That's what I liked.
yeah. The bourbon barrel aged. That's what gives it that.
So, let's go back again.
Yeah, dude, I told you, man, I could talk about literally 8 billion things.
Well, this episode just isn't about relationships. This is
Yeah,
About
This episode
everything,
is-
everything surrounding it.
This episode
Yeah.
turned into a relationship to we're gonna find Josh somebody.
No, I don't want that to be the. I don't want that to be the goal here.
Nah, we're not gonna find
I
I don't know what's worse.
we will never
We're just gonna push one on you.
Yeah.
I mean, I met my wife through Tinder.
Yeah?
I wasn't looking.
Dang. Yeah. There
Me
it
and
is.
her both were just looking up for a hookup, and
My wife was my best friend's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I met her.
See, my thing with Tinder is that like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of forced weird stranger hookups.
So my whole thing about Tinder at that time was,
I've met a lot of friends through Tinder though.
I just got out of something, and it wasn't really a relationship I got out of, but I got out of something that was like emotionally draining.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't want this, but I'm like, at the same time, I do want sex.
Right. Yeah. Because who doesn't?
And so I was just on Tinder. I'm just like, I was straight up with girls. I was like, look, just do this, and me and her, like, we didn't even get to that point. We were just talking.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's where true love
started.
grows.
I don't even know what the first thing was, but it was just like I gave her my number because I didn't like doing a Tinder messaging.
Yeah, just getting on there all the time, being on Tinder.
I
feel that.
Like, I don't want to be on. Like, I felt weird.
Yeah.
I was like Snapchat or message. Like, let's go on one of the apps I actually do use.
Yeah.
And we started talking there, and just like, and I can tell you, like, she don't. It's weird because, like you were saying, you have to have a lot in common. Me and her don't have that much in common. Mm-hmm. But one of the main things we have in common, I think, has really made me fall for her was her drive. Yeah. Just what she wants to accomplish and how she does what she wants.
Her quote unquote drive.
No, it's really that's really
okay.
because like
I
so for instance, she was in like she was at Compass, but she worked for CC's. Mm-hmm. She finished Compass, and a lot of people who finish Compass and get their license, that's all they do. They don't go anywhere else. Yeah. She immediately started cutting hair.
Wow,
she already had a job lined up for her. Mm-hmm. And I mean, right now she just opened up her own salon. So I'm talking about like the drive of it is like she's just nonstop. She's always
she's actually going towards her goals.
I'm just like, yes, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It helps me a lot because it helps me strive to my goals too.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever you have somebody like that.
And honestly, that was one of the main things that like when we were talking, you can hear it or you can see it. Jesus Christ.
Lance.
Interrupt this program to bring you Lance still showing girls to Josh.
Oh my gosh, they're so pretty.
Sorry. She just got some kind of award. I don't know.
They're
from
just
Microsoft.
so pretty. I don't get it.
Why? What's wrong with that?
They're just nothing. Nothing's wrong. Shut up, Mark.
I'm just showing you what I'm showing. Hey, it's no big deal. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help people out, man.
Pretty girls, man. Yeah, girls are pretty.
I will tell you one thing. All the time that I dated in the Louisiana area, I realized some of my issue was the girls in Louisiana.
I don't know. One thing I learned
here.
I've dated other girls outside of Louisiana, and one of the things I like truly learned about myself was I needed to be okay first.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You should always be comfortable yourself.
That's the thing, though. Like you were saying, like in movies and stuff like that, they don't really show that. Because it gets put in your head like you just need to find somebody and your vibe. And then I had someone like that when we was vibing really good, but like it still wasn't working. It was because of me. Yeah. Because I wasn't happy with myself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually, me and you were talking the other day about how if we could go back and like start over when we were younger with the current knowledge we have, what we would have done different.
Yeah, like the current mindset and the current understanding.
That's what we were talking about. I was like, I would want to be to a point where I could put 25% of my income comfortably in a savings account every time I got paid.
But see, it wasn't just
instead of being
I'm just
stupid.
Saying, these are steps I would have taken because I didn't think about the money I would need after getting married.
I'm gonna go back to high school. There was a lot of shit going on for me in high school, and I always pushed that to the side, and I was like, okay, a relationship's gonna make me happy. It seems like that's what everyone else seems happy.
Yeah, all that other stuff is on the side. The relationship, no, it's all intertwined.
And then it was always weird. I'd have fun on dates. I'd go out, but when I get home, I'm just like, I'm back in the funk. I'm back in the shit. And it's like, I realized this in high school. I was like, man, like I'm doing this wrong. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize is they're doing it wrong because you have to be okay with yourself. You have to know who you are. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that depression, that stuff doesn't go away just by finding somebody.
And don't date for entertainment. A lot of people date for they try to make dating their entertainment. Yeah. You shouldn't date for entertainment. That's first of all, you're playing with somebody when you're doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because even and earlier you said that you're not going to be able to tell if somebody cares about you right off the bat.
Correct.
But you will be able to tell if someone is a caring person. And that's something that I really
tell
love.
What it is about you that they care about.
I will say, I had a friend, and this is friendship. This isn't like
Right. Yeah.
I had a friend who I thought was very caring. He seemed like he was.
Yeah.
And like I'm talking about, like we'd help people change tires on the side of the road. Like we don't even know. We'll pull over in the middle of the night and we'll help them change the road. I'm like, wow,
Yeah, that's
like,
awesome.
Like yeah, exactly. And then I found out the type of person he was because like I'm like, wow, he's really caring. But then I found out he was only caring around people who were caring.
Okay.
So for instance, there was an incident at a skating park. Where they had this
a skating park.
A skating park.
Skate park.
Down there in good old Hammond. Where there was this drunk guy there, and they started messing with him, and he decided to take the drunk guy's shoe and hit him upside the head repeatedly.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be one of those situations where like their personality just drastically changes based on who they're around.
Yeah, it
Very
was.
impressionable.
And that was the thing, though. Like, it's hard to catch those too.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I've known him for years, and like
What,
always
a
caring.
sociopath?
But he was always caring around me. And then I'll hear these random stories about him, and I'm like, no, that's not him. Like, and then
Ted Bundy complex, guys.
kind of. And then, but it was always around certain people, like these certain people that like it brought it out in him. And then I ended up cutting ties with him because other issues too. Because he's we're talking about relationships here. One thing that aggravated me was, and I'm still like this. If you become my friend, I want to know what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
I want to know. The reason why I want to know that is because I want to try to help in any way I can. I'm not saying I'm gonna throw money at you.
Well, the other thing is you don't want somebody that's going to drag you down, because there's a lot of people that I've known in my life who turn into shit people.
Correct.
And
but
I'm like, nope,
I refer to those as you can be my Xbox buddy. Because I don't need to know what you're doing in my life for Xbox. We just need to play the game together.
For all you Xbox buddies out there.
No, that falls into long distance people too. People out of state and stuff like that. But anyway, I was always trying.
I would just like anyone who is listening to this podcast. I would like them to know that Lance is delicately coloring a pretty picture.
Inside the line.
But he is listening.
I am listening. No, I got you. I'm weird about that.
But anyway, so I kept trying to help him. He kept changing what he wanted to be. I'm like, that's fine. I mean, we're young. Why not? And then it just like started to hit me because there was one time like he's like, I want to be a pro gamer.
Right.
And I was like,
well, who doesn't? Like that'd be the best game, the best career ever.
I'm like, but how are you going to do that? And that was always the next question. Like someone tells me, oh, I want to be in the FBI. So, okay, how are you going to do it?
Cool. Yeah. Like what steps are you going to take to do it? Like what steps do you have to take?
You don't know? Are you sure you want to do that? I'm positive. Okay, let's look into it together.
Yeah.
Or I'll go look up stuff.
Because that's what it takes. Like you have to like put purpose to what you want to do.
And then so like for the pro game, and this was the last straw for me, and I didn't realize that at the time, but it was kind of last straw with helping them, because I was like, you know what? I have all this stuff because I was gonna Twitch stream and all that, and I ended up not doing it because I was like, I'm like, that's not what I need to focus on.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of equipment because I was very bad with saving money.
Dude, I'm right there.
Like when I was thinking about doing something, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it right now because I'm gonna end up doing it someday. But I was like,
I literally told you like this whole month I've been overspending so much.
Completely. So I spent about like $500 easy on equipment. I literally gave it to him.
Yeah.
And I didn't even open it, dude.
Wow.
Apparently Mark's bad money too.
And well, this was years ago, and I saw it for sale the very next day from him.
Yeah,
and so I was like, wow.
Sucks.
Okay, I was like,
that kind of sucks.
Excommunicado.
I didn't even excommunicate him then, because the reason why I didn't was because he was going through a rough patch with jobs, and I was like, man, like maybe he really needs the money. Maybe he didn't want to tell me because he really needs the money.
Right.
Again, and a lot of people didn't know this at the time either. I was paying for this motherfucker's gas to get to work.
Right. Yeah.
A lot. Like it was a bill for me almost. And I was doing it.
Yeah.
And then I had this thing going on around Thanksgiving, and he was supposed to come, and he shows up at 12 o'clock at night when it was for 7.
I need more money, man. I need some of that.
And I
need some of that balls.
Yeah, right.
He's knocking on the door, and my wife's like, because she was my fiance at the time, she's like, should we answer? I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I just let him sit out there, and man.
Hey man, you got any mothballs?
Yeah.
I've been smoking mothballs.
It just taught me a lot because like for me like that part is
really good, man.
But I kind of treated my wife the same way though. Like I was like, okay, well, how are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
And I've always been like that because I feel like because I know I'm gonna achieve my dream, but I don't want to be the only one to achieve a dream.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel. And so seeing like I cut out a lot of friends after him, and it was because of him. And I feel like that was a good lesson for me though, because I was like, well, now I know how you are. And like I said, at first I thought he was just caring, great guy, and it turns out no, he's just a putty for an open hole, whoever has that hole at the time.
Oh, there's plenty of people out there like that. They will take advantage of somebody who has a big heart in a second. My big thing was dating. I always told girls all the time, like, well, what do you want to do with your life? And it seems like a weird question. I sound like a guidance counselor, but I'm like, I'm sorry, your aspirations just aren't there.
Yeah,
like you're willing to settle for way less than I'm willing to settle for.
Yeah,
you know. I may not be rich now. I was like, but I do want to make over this much money. I want to make at least $250,000 a year.
Yeah, like I don't want you to just be along for the ride. I want you to like be able to contribute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, we should be participating in that goal, and if
we should be a team.
Yep. And if we have
another thing, goals, I think is I want you to be happy.
Yeah.
Like,
I want you to want that too, not just want whatever I want.
Yeah, do it because I want to do it.
But because you were a cable technician, weren't you?
Yeah. With Spectrum for about right at a year. I loved it. I really did love it.
Cable guys.
But you loved being a cable technician?
I actually did. Like,
Get out!
No, look. Like, just the whole process of, like, learning everything, because I learned so much. It was awesome.
When we first started, and we got into the technical stuff, it did seem interesting.
Can't freelance, we still need our jobs.
They all I don't give a fuck.
No, summertime's the fucking worst, though.
Yes,
I'm tired of those attics.
Oh, yeah. I asked him, we're just like, no, not gonna happen. Not today.
But anyway, so like going to these houses.
You don't get to say no.
Yeah.
Right.
What? We didn't get to say no.
I'm not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to.
They tell us to be safe, and we're like, yeah, being safe is a living, so we're not going into that attic today.
Right. Yeah.
But some of these, these rich people in Metairie. Usually there's a stay-at-home mom. Right. That's just how it is. I want to say 95% of the time.
Wait. It gets even better.
Hold on. 95% of the time, these women are day drinking. And a lot of the times you can see either tears, dry, smeared makeup, or they're on the verge of crying.
Oh, I thought you were about to include tit in one of those. You can either see tits or tears.
I went to one that had...
It's one or the other at these people's houses.
I went to one that had naked paintings of herself.
Yeah. Whoa!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But they're never happy though.
No,
and it's because they sit in this house.
All day. They don't do anything all day.
While
they just...
their husband is the head of Ochsner or something.
Yeah, like they actually have a life, and they actually do things.
Like, their hobbies are like buying new shit for the house, or replacing shit that's already new,
or planning vacations.
Planning a vacation, or some of them open up boutique shops that make no money in the area. So that happens a lot. And the other thing that's funny is they'll have kids, right? And they're stay-at-home moms, right? They're home all day,
and they have
but their kids are going to daycare, and then they have nannies in the afternoon.
There's one particular one that her husband is like a CFO of Ochsner or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like a big time doctor, and their kid they have twins. They're about 7 or 8, and one is dressed like a girl, and he does not want to be dressed like a girl, but the mom's doing it to try to get the dad to get attention. Because you could tell when he got home, he wanted to brag to me about this John Wayne poster that was worth $500 million from Japan and stuff like that.
Tell about that kid's transgender and he knows it.
No, you could tell. You could tell when a kid feels that type of way, and when the kid's like, "Mommy, can I please take this dress off?" "No, you look pretty."
Oh.
Say you're a pretty girl.
Good God. Yeah, I feel sometimes,
and he's still in diapers,
man.
And he's still in diapers, and he's 7.
Sometimes I really feel like there should be like somebody in charge of evaluating parents.
Oh no, it gets
and being like, no,
the ones that are real
you're not going to do this.
They've never sold a house, but they're like, I'm doing important business. I need you to hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not doing anything.
Like everything is a top secret mission.
You're sitting at a desk with a bunch of paper, right? But you're on Facebook. I can see the reflection.
Yeah, right.
My favorite is,
I'm very busy here. You're on Etsy. What are you doing?
No, my favorite is like, "Ma'am, that 7 goes on to that 6 for that solitaire."
You missed that one.
Yeah.
I know. I was gonna get it.
My grandma plays solitaire. She plays solitaire with real cards.
Oh, that's
She plays
that's
like
a G.
real like IRL solitaire.
She's old school.
That's
Yeah.
a G. I can't
She's
do
not
that.
cheating there.
I tried that one time. I'm like, never again. That's a lot of pickup.
Well, we had to do that at the prison when I worked at the prison.
Sorry to hear that.
Didn't have like a real thing to play it on. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna play cards, you have to play real cards.
Dude, I wish my grandma could live forever because I don't know how much longer she has left, but she is going to be the deciding factor of the person that I end up with.
So, what do you think the big changes in relationships were from that generation to this generation?
Oh, man.
Because, I mean...
The culture? Like, that's...
Yeah, exactly. What
Honestly, I really think it's social media. And I'm not one of those people that believes that social media is a bad thing. Like, I don't feel that way at all. But it has definitely changed everything drastically. And
I don't think
I
it's
think
the-
everybody knows.
I don't think it was the
Knows
main
that.
cause, though, because looking back, like, it was already changing. Yeah, Zane got to those, like, a lot. But it was already changing. I think social media just amplified the change when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was kind of like music, too, because everyone was like, man, this is some shitty music. And then, like, I saw something from, like, the 90s where this girl...
Everything's shitty music.
Well, I saw something from the 90s when this girl was singing R&B, and she's talking about this dude has a tiny dick, and it's just tiny dick over and over again in the song. I'm just like... I'm thinking, wow, this sounds like something new. And then I looked, I'm like, wait, 95? I was like, whoa.
I was born in 95. Why is that my
That's your anthem,
my
man.
yeah? I
I'll
don't
look
want
it
that
up
to be
for
my
you.
anthem.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
I will tell you what my actual anthem is. It's by Cher, and it's called Believe.
Do you
And
believe
I
in life
knew
after
that song word for word when I was like 3 years old, dude.
I remember when that song came out.
That's literally my anthem on Tinder. I do still have a Tinder account. I haven't been using it for the past 3 to 4 months, but yeah, I still have Tinder. I have
You
met a
sound like
couple-
so disappointed
I
in
have
yourself.
my brother...
Well, it's weird. Like Tinder's just weird, man.
It is.
I feel like I get on there and it's just I don't know.
my
It's not a
brother-
dating site, I feel.
No, it's not supposed to be.
Except for sometimes. Like you met your wife through Tinder, and I think that's awesome. Like I think that it's
Hey, not a lot of people do.
yeah, well, the thing is, like, I think that, like, no matter what avenue you go through, if you meet somebody, even if they just end up being a friend, then I think that's successful. Like,
Yeah.
if you meet a good friend, and especially of the opposite sex, if you meet a good friend through Tinder or, you know, some other thing, I think that's awesome.
My brother met his current spouse, on farmersonly.com.
Holy shit! People actually use that.
Yeah, they call it farmersonly.com, but what they really mean is
Whites?
conservative
Oh.
Christians.
Yeah, conservative white people.
Yeah, that's what it really is.
Online.
It's really just it's like they say farmers, but it's just their code for conservative
I
Christians.
thought that was Christian Mingles.
But that's such a
Nah,
funny
Christian
thing.
mingle
though.
is like really devout Christians. That's like the ones that are like no sex before marriage kind of Christians.
No. It's just that made me
They
think
have
of this.
6 members.
That made me think of this text post that I saw one time, and it was talking about how like these two people met on like some Christian dating website, and they got together and they got married, and they have remained abstinent after marriage. And sometimes, whenever they're kissing in the kitchen and
I
they
thought
feel
that was like the point. You had to consummate the relationship.
no, but the thing, in this text post that I read, it said it was like an interview between them, and it was like sometimes whenever our temptations are too high, and we're kissing or something, and we feel like it might go to the bedroom, then she'll go off and do something, and the guy said that sometimes I'll just eat a raw potato to satisfy my cravings. And I'm like,
Wait,
that'll do it.
You can tell he's never done
A
it.
raw potato.
That abated those urges.
Does she leave the house and go do
I
something?
don't
Yeah,
know.
something's going on there.
She
they
does
don't know
something.
About. There's something going on there they don't know about. I remember in the
God.
90s they had that little short psychologist woman who's like a sex expert. And she used to so awkward to hear her talk. She's like talking about sexual stuff, and she's like this little weak voice.
Gertrude, stop.
She used to talk about that stuff, and she was like real popular. She was on commercials and all kinds of stuff. It was just so funny to hear her give people relationship advice, like sex advice.
Yeah.
What's her name, Dr. Something? I gotta look that up. That's because that's funny.
When the penis is erect. No!
You're having intercourse with your partner.
Shut up!
His phallus.
God.
That's horrible.
That is my nightmare.
Commercials
That is my
have gone
nightmare.
downhill since then. We don't have commercials like that anymore.
I don't know. She was a trip, but I don't know. Relationships have changed substantially, and the country has changed substantially, and now I don't want to get into that. I was gonna try to stay away from that topic, but I do think it's funny the way women are using politics now to like manipulate men. Like there's a lot of these women out there who
explain
are like,
that one. I have no idea.
Just say her name.
The thing is, I don't hang out with I don't spend like a lot of time with like overly political crowds.
Well, okay,
so I don't know that aspect.
I worked on a college campus.
Okay.
I worked at Tulane for a while as a police officer.
Yeah.
And I just noticed these guys pretending to go along with these girls who want to be all political on campus, like, we're gonna start a protest, and these guys are like, oh yeah, I'm with you, babe, I'm totally down with the feminism. What can I get up in that?
See, well, okay, here's the thing. I'm very on board with feminism, but I'm not gonna go and protest because I'm not big on like organized protests. Like, I think that if we need a revolution, then we're just gonna have to fucking do it.
That they're upset about
protesting
it's already won.
Not my thing.
They've already won.
Right?
It's government mandated equality. Now they're mad about it. Yeah, but we want it socially too. We're like, no one has control over that.
Yeah. You can't just force that. Like that's just something
you can protest all you want.
That will happen or it won't happen.
Who are you protesting to? It's like there's nobody listening.
I think if you really want that kind of social change to happen, like you just need to like accept where it is right now and I don't know, like actively do something to change it rather than just saying, "Hey, no."
Well, that's the people who think a social construct is there's like some mastermind planning this social change. It's like, no, it happened naturally over a long period of time.
I don't know, man. I could get real deep into social conspiracy weird stuff.
Well, I'm just saying. So like so if we go way
it's possible, man.
Well, I'm just saying if we go really far back.
You got any conspiracy theories for me, man?
Yeah. You got any more conspiracies?
So if we go back to like caveman times, okay? I mean, you had men, big, strong, hunter, woman, caretaker,
Yeah.
Those are just things that naturally occurred, and then over time, those differentiated people's jobs in society and the way they did things, and blah blah blah. Men tended to lead and all this stuff. And I'm not saying a woman can't lead. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I'm just saying those are the natural things that tended to be the norm. So that's the way society developed. Yes, at some point when you had kings and all this stuff, they started putting in systemic oppression of women. Yes, we did have that. It exists. It happened in America too. There was a systemic oppression of women, but they fought that battle and they won that battle. And now there's a bunch of women who are just like dreaming that they were living in those days too, so because they want to fight something.
Right?
And I'm like, you're not fighting anything. You won. It's over. I'm like, you're making up things to fight about now.
Nah, that's another thing too. Is that I really feel like, especially now, with social media and like all the different movements that are going on, it's a very pretty picture. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Put that on the page too.
But like with social media and all the different movements that are happening, like I think that the majority of all the movements, like social movements, are important. But it's the fact that it brews this mindset where everyone has to be on a side, and if you're not fighting for something like protesting or something like that, then you're not doing anything.
Social protest.
Yeah.
Is people go, are they important? It may be important to you. But is it overall important to society?
Right.
Is there a giant movement against your cause? If you look at it from any other angle, you would see it probably isn't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm running the risk of getting really attacked on this one. Should I say it?
Say what? I don't know.
Hey, Dave Chappelle did it. I can do it too.
No.
See, I haven't seen that. I've heard a lot of
Dave
good.
Chappelle is a brilliant comedian. You are just an average.
I'm going off of what he said. I'm strictly just going off
he
what
pulled
he
it
said.
off because he can.
He
didn't even pull it off technically.
I'm not going to do a comedy routine about it because I don't have anything against these people. I'm just saying.
I'm kind of in the dark on this
Let's
because
Let's just stop right there.
Nothing is too far, Mark.
Hey, we're just talking about social.
I'm kind of in the dark on this because I've heard that there's been a lot of like a lot of like pushback about the whole Dave Chappelle thing.
This is the only reason why I say it, and I think this is
anything.
where Dave Chappelle's coming from too, because I remember in the 90s when the original big LGBTQ push was made. Okay, at that time in the early 80s and the late 80s, early 90s, that was not normal. It was just starting to become like, ooh, those people. That's kind of how it was. And then in the 90s, and then late 90s, early 2000s, that actually became like fully normal, acceptable. Yeah. I mean, then eventually it became law. So I'm saying we went through that. Yeah. It happened already. But I'm saying that they still want to fight. I'm like, it's already done. I mean, there's a regular parade here in New Orleans for that. I mean, you can go down there on any weekend, and they have a whole side of Bourbon Street that's just for that. Yeah. I'm like, you won.
And that's like what you already said. Like it's a social thing at this point. Like governmentally, federally, like it's in that line. Was the battle. Like
you're not going to change people's mind by going out and yelling at them.
It's just the fact that like there are going to be people, and there are going to continue to be people that disagree with the way that anyone lives.
Exactly.
And that's not something that's going to change. Hopefully, like, we do end up having more acceptance. And I feel like, in the next, coming decades, like the way that, our children are being brought, I say our children, I don't have any children, but, like the coming generations, like I feel like they're being exposed to all these different lifestyles already, and it'll become more of an accepting thing.
It's just,
and I believe in acceptance.
If you talk to some of the older feminists from the real generations of feminism, right? The original generations of feminism, and some of the original people from the LGBTQ community, they'll tell you, like, a lot of these people now that are protesting, fighting, stirring up trouble online, threatening people, that don't say and do what they want, that they're actually doing more damage to those causes. They're undoing some of the things that they fought for. They're like, y'all are taking it to an extreme. Now you don't want to be just accepted. You want it to be forced into everyone's life.
You want to be exalted at this point.
Yeah, you want to be put on pedestal. I'm not saying, like, I understand, like, you weren't considered the norm for a long time, and now, so your mindset's a little different.
And where can these lovely people find you at, Lance?
Dividedpeople.com. No, I'm just kidding. We're not a website.
I was about to say. I was like, do you guys have like a website?
I got to work on that.
Yeah,
that's okay. I don't want people getting mad at me because I don't hate any of these people.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I dated a bisexual girl.
I thought you were about to say lesbian. I'm like, that's a lie.
At one point, she identified as a
strong woman.
At one point, she identified as a lesbian, and then she was bisexual. I'm still trying to get her to come on the podcast. She's just her time constraints. But I had a lot of friends that were gay growing up.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like,
it never bothered me.
I'm huge on sexuality. Like, I love the fact that people can openly be.
I just don't like them trying to shut down things like jokes. Okay, they joke about straight people. Don't say you don't.
Shit, I joke about straight people.
LGBT joke about white straight people, and guess what? We roll with them punches. Yeah, just like anybody else. So if you want to be considered normal and accepted, guess what? You got to take the punches too. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Punching up and punching down. That was the thing I was listening to today. They were talking about. Yeah, but y'all are punching down, and I'm like, I don't know. Y'all have a lot of power right now. I feel like y'all are the ones punching down.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all. We don't have Google asking us for what they can do and what they can't do. I mean, really, Google's like, well, we're gonna check with the LGBT community before we do anything like this again. Yeah. I'm like, nobody's checking with the white straight guys, okay? So,
it's because we're all white straight guys at this point.
Well, it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
Just saying, white people are the minority in some places in America.
Oh yeah,
it does exist.
I feel that.
Now Lance is feeling like a victim here.
No, I don't feel like a victim at all.
Big white man.
I've never claimed to be a victim. But I'm just saying, some people want to play. They want to use that victim.
And how does this reflect?
Yeah, definitely. So.
Affect your relationships, Lance.
My relationships? I don't know. My wife just asked me yesterday if her gay friend could come stay at our house because he wanted to do Halloween down here. It's funny that you did that at that time.
I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. This is why we need live stream. I mean, video.
We need video. Everybody's got to understand what that reference was.
Hey, on that note, not recently, but a while back, I bought a webcam for like $20, and it's really great. It plugs directly up in.
That's what we're talking about. We're like, we can just get a basic webcam mounted up here or something like that, so it can see us.
Or you could put it on the laptop. And
as long as it can see us all. Like we're like.
And you could all sit like over here, right?
And then just YouTube stream it or something like that.
Yeah, it was literally $20, and the quality's really good. It's nice.
We can put it there and have
we get something to hang so we can see the.
Oh yeah.
Or we can just put it on that side and then put the webcam over there.
Yeah, no. As far as that goes, I can't count how many gay friends that I have that constantly complain about the gay community. That they're just normal people, and they're just like, I don't understand why they're doing this. I don't like gay people. Like I love gay people, but oh my God, calm down.
Well, there's the one.
And I'm like, yeah, I can understand that.
I'm sure there are, because I'm like, okay, so straight white male. Yet there are some really douchey straight white males out there that are doing douchey things. I'm like, yeah, that guy's a douche. And then, I'm like, don't lump him in with me.
Right, and that dude, I really feel like we have a huge problem with lumping people in. That's especially like police officers.
Yeah, but you're both straight white males. The fuck does that mean?
Yeah, this person is completely separate than I am.
We both drink water, though, don't we?
Yeah, well, what is that? The Hitler had a dog? Hitler had a dog thing?
Wait, what is that? How does that go?
So it's supposed to be like, you have a dog, Hitler had a dog, so you must be like Hitler.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
No, it doesn't work that way. You don't just get to put us together just because you found some similarities.
I actually have a very unfortunate mustache. It grows in really, really thick right here, and then it gets thin out here on the sides. Dude, look, okay.
Did you just admit to having a Nazi stash?
No, listen to me. All right. So,
wait, gotta clarify.
So a couple years ago,
I'm gonna draw that on this pencil.
Actually, right at the end of like my high school, time, I started going to church out in Franklinton, and this one time I started growing my mustache out a little bit, and this old lady in church, and she was a wonderful lady. Like I talked with her every now and then. She was great. But one day in church, after I had started like growing my mustache out a little bit, she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she like smiled and kind of laughed, and she put her arm up like she was saluting, like.
Oh no!
And I looked at her and I was like, ha 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 ha. But then I'm also like, why are you doing that? This is a church. You shouldn't do that here.
You exposed the closet.
If anywhere.
She's like.
Yeah, like what the hell?
A witch and brother. You were like, oh shit.
Like, are you German? I didn't know, but now I do, and I'm scared.
Comes up to you to cause this meeting tonight.
Yeah, pass us a card. Meet here.
Good God. Yeah. No, I'm actually.
This is actually a wig. I'm just kidding.
I come from a long line of the SS.
You see this guy?
This is my cover.
NASA took me in.
Good God.
That's horrible. We shouldn't go there.
It's true.
Anyway. Yeah, so I don't want to get into how that all ties into relationships, but like right now, the women that I've seen, like these kids on college campuses, I felt so bad for them. I'm like, every single girl on this campus feels like she has to have a cause.
Yeah.
And that cause has to become her identity.
Yeah, and that cause has to be controversial.
Yeah.
Because
it has to be, and you have to take, and if anybody this is the best part, is like, they're like, well, I believe women should have equal rights. They're like, I agree with you. Yeah, but and they're like, well, now I got to take it further.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
I'm like, okay.
Well, how?
Yeah, it's true though. But I felt bad for those kids. But I kind of felt bad for the girls too, because most of the guys were just pretending to go along with their causes.
Yeah,
and they still do. I mean, you could see them. They're like, oh yeah, I'm totally with you, ladies.
We have a lot of arts and crafts things on the table. What is this thing that looks like a foot with a smiley face on it? That is a foot.
I have washed your feet. You should also wash one of others.
Jesus stuff.
I
Hell yeah.
An example for you to follow.
That's pretty rad. I like Jesus stuff.
Is that Jesus stuff?
Yeah, that's talking about like serving one another and like, exercising humility and like washing the feet of people.
What kind of school does he go to?
A public school.
Wait, that came from like school?
Yeah.
What? Let me see. No way.
You read into that.
It's like
way too heavily.
You should also wash one another's feet. I have set an example for you to follow.
Yeah, that sounds like a quote from the Bible.
Dude, that's Jesus stuff. Heck yeah, that's interesting that would come from a public school.
Really.
Yeah, right? No, dude, you already know how many people would do that. Like, I don't agree with this. And the thing is, like, I understand that you have the right to.
I don't like when they want to argue with it. I'm like, look, let's take it away from the context of the Bible. Is it a bad message?
Right? Yeah. That's the thing too.
You have a lot of people who have a foot fetish, so.
Really? Is that a bad thing, Mark?
Grandpa,
You know, now
that's
it's gonna
what
be
we learned about.
LGBTQF, all right? Because the
Oh,
feet
yeah,
people are gonna be
boy.
in there too. You did it now.
Oh, yes.
Now it's LGBTQF.
The fact that you just lumped that all together, oh my god.
What, LGBTQF?
We are now off the air.
LGBTQF. What is that?
Damn
The feet people want to
alphabet
be in there
boys.
too now. Hey, if transgender can get in there, why can't feet people?
Feet
come
people.
on.
Athlete's foot is a serious thing, Lance.
I'm just saying.
You're not looking.
Athlete's foot.
What does that got to do with it? People with foot fetishes, I don't think they're like, oh, this athlete's foot.
Well, they're not licking between the toes, are they?
Toe cheese.
Oh, okay, can we erase that whole
We
segment?
ran out of craft singles, but it's okay. I have my toe cheese.
I know a girl who has her own nail salon. She was like posted pictures of one of like the Saints players, like at the salon, like getting his feet done, and you can see like his feet in there and stuff. I'm like, ew. Like, that dude like runs and stuff. I'm like, those feet gotta be nasty.
Did his feet look nasty, or?
I don't know.
Nah, man, it's
You
fine.
can see
Look,
a
that,
random-
but see, that's important, okay? Because he realizes his feet are not great, so he's like, you know what? I want to get help. I'm not ashamed
I wear boots
of my
all the time.
feet.
My wife asked me. She's like, I want to go get a pedicure.
Bro.
My wife was like, I want to go get a pedicure, and I'm like, all right, go ahead. And she's like, why don't you come with me? You know, it feels nice. And I'm like, I know, I've had a pedicure before. I'm like, but I ain't gonna do it right now. She's like, why? I'm like, I wear boots all the time now. My feet are fucked up.
See, that's the thing, because I remember wearing boots every single day. Those thick-ass, waterproof leather boots that you just sweat in all day
they
long.
fuck your feet up.
Yeah, dude, I bought so many different kinds of, like, foot powders. Like, every night I would go home, and I would put that powder in my boots and shake it up. And it was still bad.
That you can do about it.
I remember
Still
I bought
bad.
the Armor
You gotta
All
scrub
one.
your feet in the shower
What?
every
Like,
single
not
time.
the armor baby powder or whatever it's called.
Yep.
Armor
Yeah.
babies.
It was so strong that it ate through the soles of my boots. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
So mad.
Fucking
I was working at the
acidic.
plants at the time, and so I was like, I had to go to work with like a hole in my boot. I'm like, I hope no one notices. Like, it was so bad.
Oh, actually,
Like, just your entire boot is just
Dude,
bacteria.
it was just like a hole. It was like a hole like that big. I was just like, what the fuck?
we were talking today about like if we weren't married right now, would you be working in this job? We're like, fuck no.
Right, yeah.
The only reason I'm doing this job is because I'm married and I have a
Fucking
kid.
job security. That's something that I do worry about sometimes. Because as far as I go, like, I work with one of my friends. A small business kind of thing. He opened up a phone repair shop. And recently we expanded out to another location. So we have 2 locations. And so I'm at the new location for the majority of the week, and we have another friend who works at the other location, and sometimes we're really, really slow at the location that I work at, and it kind of makes me worry, because I'm like, if this tanks, then like I'll be out of a salary.
Maybe he rushed a little too much in expanding that second location.
But the thing is, the
That's cool. That
the
he at
first
least,
shop,
he took,
though.
At least he took that jump.
yeah.
Because I mean, we've been talking about it forever, just trying to figure out a way to. The problem is, and this is something I wish I didn't. I don't know. I didn't know. I wasn't. I was young and wasn't married. I didn't know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I should have taken all those chances, got all that shit out of my system before getting married. Because now I'm like, no, I can't, I
now
can't
it's
take that
risky
risk,
as hell.
I've got
Yeah.
a wife and a kid. I can't take that chance.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I would tell you that if there's anything you want to take a risk on, any crazy shit you want to get done, do it. Do it while you're young.
Yeah.
Do it before you get married. Find somebody. That's a message to everybody and looking for relationships. Get all that shit out of your system now.
Right.
You're not gonna
That's
be able to do it when you're married.
that's something that I realized like a couple days ago, because like I said, I turned 24 this Sunday on the 1st, and I'm 20. Thank you. I'm 24 now, and for the longest time I've told myself, like I'll probably have kids when I'm 25, and I'm 24 now, and I'm still just as far from a real relationship as I was back
32.
then.
I was 32 years old when I had a kid.
When you had your first kid? Wow, that's awesome. I'm pretty sure my dad he had to have been like 35 maybe.
That was planned. You know how trippy that is for people?
How's that?
Like when they find out like my son was planned, like I got married and planned to have a kid and all that stuff. Like every phase of it was planned. Even the doctor, like we go to the doctor and we're like, yeah, she wants to start taking not birth control, prenatal vitamins.
Oh, to like make her like more.
Yeah, it's just to be healthier. You're supposed to. Most people don't know that you're supposed to take prenatal vitamins before you get pregnant.
Okay.
Not just because you got pregnant now start taking prenatal vitamins.
Right,
You're supposed to take them before.
That's why it's called
So,
pre.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I told the doctor. She's like, well, how long have you been trying to get pregnant? We're like, we're not yet.
Yeah.
She's like,
oh, well,
what
good,
do you, she's
good
like,
on you.
No, she was like, what do you mean? We're like, we're just thinking about, starting to have babies. She's like, oh, so y'all haven't even tried yet? We're like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, what are y'all doing here? We're like, to get prenatal vitamins.
Yeah.
We're like, that's why they're prenatal vitamins.
Yeah.
We're like, she's supposed to, my wife's a doctor. I'm like, she knows this shit too. I'm like, just give her the fucking vitamins.
Wait. So the word prenatal, I'm really big on like where words come from. So prenatal, the pre I get, natal. What is that? Grenades?
I was
Nades?
thinking like nativity. But
That's another thought that I had.
I don't know, let's look up natal.
Prenatal.
Why don't we have one of those guys in the back room and look shit up for us right now?
Yeah, like on Joe Rogan.
We don't have the budget for that.
Make
me look smart.
Yeah, right.
We're not even getting paid.
Oh, put that up on screen there, right there. Yep, there it is.
It means
native.
Nativity. Native home natal. That's it. I mean
natal. Okay.
Okay.
Pre grenades.
No.
That's where I'm at on that.
Wait, why is it trying to translate for me?
I love that you just walk in on a bunch of guys talking about prenatal supplements as if we know anything about it.
With my baby. Just
Well, you do. I don't. I'm
a natal.
Things are very foreign to me.
I don't know. It's natal definition of natal native of relating to or present at birth, especially associated with one's birth, a natal star. Interesting. Very loosely related to it.
Moving on.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was going to go somewhere interesting. That didn't go anywhere interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fact.
But so no, it's just I just thought that was funny that everybody I talk to and they're like talking about all their accidental situations, and I'm like,
I fear for that every day of my life.
Well, we had some guys at work. One of them guys were having a conversation where they were talking about all their
the baby mamas.
all of their baby mamas.
They were like preparing.
They
were like, oh, I got 2, and I got 4.
Y'all got some
like,
strong semen. What the hell?
They're competing with each other.
Yeah,
Is
the semen
we
doing drive-bys on the condom wall and just ripping through it?
We asked that question. We're like, dude, y'all heard of fucking birth control? Like,
yeah.
Dude, they're like, man, fuck a condom.
Okay, no. You know what? Not fuck a condom. Fuck having a child before you're ready, especially financially.
A lot of them don't even know their kid's name. So.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
They don't listen to this.
No, I'm just thinking back because I remember this one dude. I mean, he was bragging to me like he's with a girl currently. They just had a kid, and he's talking to all these other chicks. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, you just had a baby with this chick. And you're telling me about all the problems you're having with your ex-baby mama and that kid. And I'm like, and you're already telling me about the next chick that you plan on getting pregnant.
But that's the reason why I take all those steps, and I try to stay away from that, because that's too much drama for me. I don't want that.
When he was telling me all that shit, I was like, no wonder women hate us.
Yeah.
Because you're the reason women hate us.
Like, I hate
my thing is, like, if it's an accidental thing that happens, at that point, that is on me. Man, like, I can't just, like, leave.
Some of that stuff ain't accidents. The stuff I've been seeing, like,
no. I mean, you talk to some of them people, and it wasn't no accident, dude. They want to get as many women as they can pregnant with their.
Well, not even that. Some guys are like, well.
well, that's my legacy.
They'll go. Well, now she has to deal with me no matter what.
Yeah,
right.
I'm in her life forever.
I could be a massive dick.
But I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be.
I don't get the mentality. That's we were trying to figure it out. We're
like, I don't want that.
What the fuck did you?
I don't want to be viewed like that.
Dude, they had this conversation. Me and Lance are kind of just like, we're happily married and we got kids.
Yeah, they were like looking at us. They're like, "What about you?" I'm like, "I got one," and they're like, "One?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Who?" I'm like, "My
wife."
That I married before.
Who I love.
He's like, nah, you got to get the numbers up, Bart. I'm like,
yeah, that's exactly.
No.
That's actually exactly what one of them told us. You got to bump them numbers up, man. And I'm like,
yeah,
nope.
Those rookie numbers.
Plan on being 2, and that's gonna be about it.
No,
we're gonna plan that one too. It's not gonna be an accident.
The right way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge supporter of like raising a child the right way. I don't think that it's like great that kids grow up without knowing who their dad is, or even knowing who their dad is, but them not being like active in their life. And like I kind of got it from a different angle, like whenever I was a kid, because after I turned like 5, like around 4 or 5, I lived with my dad, and I saw my mom like every other weekend. But then every other month she was going to like Cozumel, and she was going to the Keys and like all this stuff, and like she was having all these great adventures. Damn. And I'm just like
she was having a second life.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and the thing is. The thing is with she would always like bring me back stuff, and she'd be like, here's some Honduran money, and I'm like, what can I do with this?
My favorite is here's some sand.
Yeah.
Like sand jar. I had a friend who did that.
No,
they collected
from the shoe.
Oh my god.
I had a friend who like every beach they went
there's
to.
There's like zero romance.
So
like
much sand in
I went to Hawaii to the Black Sands and I collected this as the sun was setting. No, it was just in my shoe.
No,
I didn't want to leave it on the hotel floor, so I just put it in this jar of peanut butter.
I got a surprise for you. I was like, okay, close your eyes and put your hands out.
Oh, it was just in a shoe.
I'm like, what is this? He's like,
it's sand from my trip. I had a bunch of hookers.
No, it's like, you better be grateful I had to smuggle it out the country.
I see.
Like, motherfuckers.
Dude, my wife, going into Honduras, she's telling me how to smuggle shit into the country.
She's
Christ. Like, she slips a guy a 20 and tells him that bag and that bag. And he's like, I was like, really?
What?
That's a real story. I was getting into Honduras, not out.
Little does he know that his gun was used for a murder while on the plane.
I didn't bring my gun.
Is it kind of like a stray from innocence whenever you were in
when
the
I
forest
got there,
for so
I was
long,
like, when I got into Honduras,
your wife
I was
is
like,
smuggling things.
AC is like not a thing for them. They love chicken, Popeyes, KFC, they got all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Popeyes, KFC, churches. They actually had that. I was like, damn, look at that.
Okay.
Well, they're gonna have churches.
Capitalism.
Huh?
Praise Jesus.
Not
Jesus.
churches, the chicken place.
Oh,
it's the same thing for them.
Anyway.
It's just the same thing for me. That's a religious
it
experience.
was definitely interesting, especially like the Pizza Hut's guarded by a guy with an AR-15.
No fucking way.
Okay, there's a guy.
What?
There's a guy in the parking lot with an AR-15 and a bulletproof vest guarding Pizza Hut.
Why?
Because it's very, very dangerous. 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, let's listen to this.
We're coming back from his. I don't know if we've said this to the podcast.
We have.
2 o'clock in the morning, we're coming back from his brother's house. There is a little girl in the street. And let me tell you, the street laws like don't exist there. People go fucking nuts over there. Okay, they just drive however the fuck they want. They cut each other off. They just like honk twice and like cut each other off and shit. And like there's like a little girl street. I'm like, there's a little fucking girl in the street. I'm like, should we like stop? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. I'm like, what? Like,
why?
They're like, that's a setup.
Fuck that.
They're like,
dude.
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, as far as that trip goes, like were you able to like bring your gun and like carry?
No, I didn't
and all
bring a gun,
that?
but I had a knife, big ass knife. I kept that with me at all times.
That's scary. That's kind of what makes me second guess, because like for the longest time I'm like, oh man, it'd be really cool to live in like Europe or Britain or whatever.
No.
But like fuck that, like just the fucking knife crimes and all that. Like if I can't have like a firearm on me, I recently got my concealed
gun laws
carry.
there are very loose. You can have a gun.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Oh
How
yeah,
long are we
we should wrap
Hour
this
and
up.
30 minutes.
Really?
Wow.
So.
You're gonna wrap this up?
Yeah, we could continue talking after. We just off topic, might as well.
Well, you could edit everything out and then just put more important stuff in later. So there's that. If we're going to talk after
I don't
anyway.
know what you're gonna call this episode.
I don't know either. But
Lance babbles. What?
I'm gonna call it Josh Hoover's journal.
Oh yeah.
Entry 1.
I don't like
Page
that.
1.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
anyway, we've been the good divided. We have been the divided people. Later.